But man,
Oh.
what a nostalgia trip, I tell you.
And what?
Power Rangers.
Oh. I thought you were looking at
I actually watched it 3 times.
You watched Power Rangers 3 times.
3 times.
I watched Power Rangers no times. I grew up, when you were watching Power Rangers, I was watching my jobs. I was working. I was 23 when you were 3. How old were you when you were watching Power Rangers? And what?
6.
6 in 1993.
In 1993.
I was 23 and trying to find my bride. Took me 10 years to do it since that year. I was also working in DC at the time, and I was living in an apartment in Georgetown, and I thought that was going to be my life. And then here we are today. It's completely different.
Are we recording?
Yeah, I started it.
Oh.
Oh, what brought you to loving?
Da, 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 da.
What are you doing?
That's my new theme music. Thank you.
Oh.
I didn't know we were recording at all.
I always just start. Sorry about that.
All right. So, anyways,
What brought you to
my God.
love the Power Rangers so much?
It hit me at the perfect time. That's really what it is. I was 6 years old. It hit me like a truck. It was that year's like Tickle Me Elmo, as far as toys are concerned. It was the biggest deal ever, and I had never really seen anything like it before. Giant, live action monsters fighting each other. I hadn't really been introduced to anything like Godzilla or anything like that.
Right.
It was just amazing, and they were like kicking each other, ninja fighting and stuff like that. I couldn't get enough. I couldn't get enough.
I completely understand. I was 7 years old when I saw the first Star Wars, and that was it. So
If it hits you at the right time, you just can't even stop. You can't avoid it. It's unavoidable.
So you saw the most recent movie.
Yeah, 2017's Saban's Power Rangers.
Saban's. Now, why is it Saban's Power Rangers?
I don't know. They just wanted to put their name on it. They're the owners or something.
They bought Power Rangers.
Yeah, they are Power Rangers. I
Sounds
don't
like
know.
a
I don't know
sickness.
much about current production on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I know the toys were Bandai maybe or something.
Bandai is what you put on Saban's when you catch it.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny. You can't handle the truth.
For theater kids.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
With Lewis and Drew.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Get your tickets.
I'm Jenny. I'm Forrest Gump.
Are you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us?
For theater cats.
Well, as you might guess, we're in the middle of the theater cast here, and we haven't even started yet.
Haven't even done an intro.
Not yet. This is episode 2 of Theatercast, pre-recorded live here in the heart of Connecticut in KMAX Studios. Kevin McLaughlin, thank you so much. Tonight we're going to discuss the film Sababity Boos.
Saban's Power Rangers. Or Saban? Sabin? I don't know how it's
They
pronounced.
make great symbols.
Yeah.
Did you see the first Power Rangers movies that came out in the late 90s?
Mid-90s.
Mid-90s.
1995. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The movie.
That I did see almost in its entirety.
Really?
Almost.
I can barely remember it, to be honest.
Good, thank God.
I mean, we are talking over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where I had to go. And I would have been 8 at that point.
Wow.
And when it came out in theaters, I'm sure that I begged my mother, and my brothers were probably getting into Power Rangers at that time too.
Yeah.
So we went, we saw it, and I think we even ended up owning it on VHS afterwards when it came out. And I probably watched it 17 times and then promptly forgot everything about it. Because I think that was the same year that Pokemon came out. And so that forced everything Power Rangers to the curb. and I became
Replaced by
Yep.
midget animation.
replaced by another Japanese thing that invaded America and took over its kids.
I think they were getting back at us for something, but I'm not sure.
It's probably the same reason that I only watched maybe the first 2, possibly 3 seasons of Power Rangers. And then not a single one since then, despite the fact I think they're on season 23 or 24.
Yeah.
They're still going. They're still making Power Rangers.
Now, I'm stupid. What was the name? I'm trying so hard to explain to you that I understand the passion that you have for this because my Japanese love was, I don't want to say it was Voltron. What was the guy who would put his hands together, silver outfit, red and silver, and he would and fight like...
Oh, Dragon Ball Z?
No,
No.
way before that.
Not cartoon.
No, live action.
Live action.
Ultraman.
Ultraman. Oh, man. Rocketeer wannabe. No.
Ultraman. I grew up with
Ultraman.
Ultraman. I loved Ultraman, and that's the closest thing that I can attribute Power Rangers to, although it's completely different.
Are we running out of adjectives to call our men? We got the Superman. We got the Mega Man. We got the Ultraman. What? They're going to just have to
Chicken
start
Man.
making up new
That's a noun.
words.
Yeah.
I guess you could noun it, though. You could just throw any noun in there. Gatorade Man. This podcast is not brought to you by Gatorade.
Not at all. However, I am drinking. Hey, I know where you got the idea, though. Product placement.
You did. You placed your product right there on your desk.
So, all right. Well, tell me the feeling you got when you watched this movie.
Well, let's start about a year ago.
Okay.
Or was it even? No, it was more than a year ago, I'm sure.
Okay. Drink.
I think it was when I went and saw Star Wars, the newest 7, episode 7, Star Wars.
The Force wakes you up.
Got woked.
Yes.
Kylo Ren's a dick and blah blah blah. At the beginning of that movie, watching the trailers, and all of a sudden, you see all of these characters coming onto the screen one by one, and I'm like, what is this movie? And then I notice that there's 5 of them with 5 distinct colors: red, pink, yellow, blue, and black. And I'm like, my stomach dropped because I haven't thought about Power Rangers for probably at least 15 years. And I know they've been remaking a lot of old IPs. And when I saw that, I almost shit my pants.
What is IP?
Almost. Intellectual property. They're rebooting them like crazy nowadays. They have the technology. They can remake them. Sorry.
Don't use big words when you talk to me.
So anyways, that happened.
Right.
And I was just waiting. And of course, the internet exploded when the first trailers came out, and everyone was like, oh, great, it's been a while, and they're going to redo it, and it's probably going to be nice and gritty like they've been making movies nowadays. They made Superman much darker and grittier, and
Batman
so many
has
other
an
movies.
attitude.
Yeah, Batman is just the most broody rich guy ever.
No Adam West in that.
No Adam West. And so I was waiting for it. And then, funny enough, I didn't see it in theaters. I wanted someone to go with me. I didn't want to be that guy who went to the movies alone. I'll go to adult movies alone, no problem. All right. But I'm not going to go to a PG-13 movie based on a children's TV show by myself. So I couldn't get anyone to go with me. I was like, nah, I'll just wait till it comes out on DVD.
Understood. Yeah.
It just came out on DVD. Not that long ago. I grabbed it from the Red Box, and I watched it 3 times.
You must have liked it.
It wasn't even so much that. I'm going to state this right now.
Okay.
It wasn't a great movie.
What?
I know. I watched a not great movie 3 times.
Were you trying
not back to back.
Find greatness in it?
I was. That's really what it was. Power Rangers being so near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I just had to keep watching it to find its redeeming qualities.
Please let it be different when I watch it this time.
There were a few redeeming qualities,
Yeah.
but all in all, not a great movie. No, just it took too long to get to the point. A lot of the dialogue was sloppy. It wasn't
sort of
great.
like Ninja Turtles was for me.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. You didn't like Ninja? Oh wait, you're talking about the reboots.
I'm talking about the original reboots. No, not the reboots. Excuse me. The original set of movies. They weren't too bad. They were a little cliche, of course, but then back then we didn't care that they were cliche. We thought that was cool to be cliche.
Yeah.
And but the reboots, the Michael Bay massacre, as I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Michael Bay's really working hard on screwing up all of our childhoods.
Yeah, well, they're coming at it, and I was trying to think of other movies where they took something from my childhood and they remade it, and I came up with Transformers because I used
That's
to love
Michael
watching
Bay.
the Transformers cartoons when I was a kid, and then I think I had pretty much the same effect when I saw that first Transformers trailer. I'm just in the movies watching something else. I don't remember what it was because it was
Right.
like, it's got to be going on 10 years now. Have they been doing Transformers movies for 10 years? Holy crap. So yeah, roughly
Yeah,
10,
that's
10,
true.
years, 10 years ago, I've been...
New one's coming out next summer. Or this summer, is it?
Knights of...
Knights of the Last Screwy Wrench.
Basically, we're learning that the Transformers are here. They were always here. They've been messing with our shit for a bajillion years.
Mm-hmm.
They got to really cut it out. Hey, Kitty,
Jerry, that's not your
are you
tea.
going to drink my tea? Get out of here. Get out of here, cat.
Jerry, of course, is making his usual appearance on our show.
He's like a mascot.
He's a mascot on a
mascot
lot of
that
shows.
sheds.
It sheds and makes a lot of noise, but he's being a good boy today, somewhat. So tell me, should we start the
On a side note,
shindig before?
listen,
Okay.
guys, whoever's making all these movies and rebooting my kids' shows, can you
won't-
make a Johnny Quest movie, please?
Oh,
I
you
want to
don't-
see it.
You don't want them to do it; they'll ruin it.
No, I want them to do it regardless of whether or not they'll ruin it, because I just want it to happen. I want them to show that it can be done, and then maybe 10 years from now, someone who actually knows what they're doing will reboot it, and it will be
Reboot
better.
the reboot.
Yes.
Now, and to finish that as well, Ridley Scott coming back to do Alien. John Carpenter coming back to do his Halloween for 2018.
There we go.
Tom Savini is working on the next Jason for the next Jason movie, the original Jason dude. So I love this.
It's almost like the old masters gave their properties to the young kids and said, "Have at it." And then they were like, "No, you know what? I'm taking
We were
away your
kidding.
toys. Yeah,
We're kidding. Give
we
it
gotta
back.
fix this."
We gotta. We'll fix it. Unfortunately, Wes Craven passed away, so there goes any good chance of having a decent
But yeah,
Nightmare,
so
Nightmare on
not,
Elm Street.
Not a great movie, just not good, and it shows in the numbers. So
Oh.
I'll go ahead and I'll tell you right now, the official budget that I looked up was $120 million.
Again,
However,
that's about what Logan was.
yeah,
125. for
I'm
Logan.
reading in a lot of places, so maybe they were under budget. Maybe that was just their projected budget.
Right.
But I read in a lot of other places that it was about $100 million. Either way, $100+ million
That's
to
a
make
lot
this
of
movie.
digits.
Tons of millions, lots of millions.
Millions.
Like I said, the movie was hyped. Everyone was waiting for it. So guess how much it made on the opening weekend?
Did it break the?
No,
Okay, I'll go around 75.
it made $40.3 million opening weekend. Not huge, but when I add that to the totals that it made while it was in theaters,
Yeah,
85.3 million domestic, 54.1 million international.
terrible.
A total of $139.5 million.
They made
They
19
made their money back and then just a little extra.
19 million for a good dinner with Jay-Z and Bay once, no less. So that made it nice.
Opening weekend, it made a third of the money that it was going to make, because people were expecting it to be awesome, and then as soon as the word got out, no one went to go see the movie anymore.
There you go.
So sad, so sad. Yeah, 50.5 million in its first 7 days, and then it just trails off from there. It just
It's a shame.
it goes
but
downhill. So I'm not the only one that thought it was not a great movie.
well, nowadays, maybe it's the fact that people are dancing around in colored suits.
You mean like regular everyday people? Who's doing that? Besides like people in North Korea.
Pick a parade.
Pick a parade.
Continue before I get shot.
IMDb score of 6.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 46%. Metacritic, 44.
Wow.
So, of all things, IMDb, I guess, was the most generous.
They felt bad.
With a nice solid D.
Isn't IMDb owned by Japan?
IMDb is owned by Amazon. I don't know who Amazon is owned by.
The Jungle.
The Jungle. Yeah, Amazonians.
That's
obvious.
right.
That's who works there. Yeah, so unfortunately, not a great movie.
Well, who made it?
Who made it?
Who
I don't
made
know.
this?
I was too sad to look up that information.
Really?
No joke. It's just
That's hilarious.
I wanted to know
I
who
was
the
too sad to look it up.
I wanted to know who the actors were, so I looked up a bunch of info about them, but
Well, let
I
me-
didn't look up who made it.
I'll
or
do
who
that
wrote
for
it.
you. So I'll do the who made it.
Tell me who made it, since I was
No problem.
violence would ensue if I figured out who had made it. Should
Well-
I just la 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 and cover up my ears while you tell everyone who made this movie?
There
I
was-
just read it. Darn it.
The person who made it, his name was Dean Israelite. I wonder if he's an Israelite.
I bet she is not. His parents were just being ironic.
He was born on September 20th, 1984 in Johannesburg, South Africa. So he's South African.
Told you.
Hey.
Parents were hippies.
I'll say it. He did the Power Rangers. He did Project Almanac. He really didn't do.
Wait a
that.
second. Project Almanac.
Yeah.
Isn't that the movie that eventually became Chronicle? Why does it say Project Almanac? Or am I just crazy? Maybe that was just another bunch of kids getting superpowers movie.
Maybe he didn't do much, so I don't know why he was chosen to do this movie.
I don't know. Cheap? He was cheap.
He must have been very cheap.
Very affordable.
You know what's cheap? A South African Israelite.
I get, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
by definition. We'll put it in we'll rewrite the wiki page.
So Project Almanac was its own movie. Maybe it did become.
Yeah, that's what the picture's showing right there. A bunch of superpower kids. Yeah. Chronicle.
Look at that.
No, that's the time traveling kids. Never mind.
That was something.
That actually wasn't a bad movie. I didn't think so. Or maybe I was drunk when I watched it. I don't remember.
If you were drunk and enjoyed it, maybe that
Yeah.
was the thing. He did a lot of shorts. He wrote some things, but not much. He did miscellaneous crew work. He produced some movie, and he has 2 credits for something that he started himself. That's pretty terrible. Oh gosh, he has something to do with the new Chips.
Chips movie
The
or
new
TV
Chips
show?
movie.
Oh, boy.
And it's crap.
Is it crap?
It's not even out yet, and people are so upset. They're like, "Please don't ruin this," and they're going to ruin it.
Well, I hope his career isn't over.
I think it's going to be.
Nah, he'll have a resurrection, I'm sure.
If he changes his name, I'm sure he could go pretty far.
Yeah.
Who starred in this movie?
A bunch of other people. To be perfectly honest, when I was looking up the actors in this movie, I was partially surprised and also not very surprised that almost no one in this movie was famous in any real way.
That's cheaper pay.
I'll go through the list right now of the 5 Rangers and other people who were important.
Please.
Dacre?
I love that drink.
Dacre. Dacre Montgomery. Here's the Red Ranger.
That's a fake name, too.
Yeah, I don't know about that name. Dacre? No, I don't know. Anyways, he was a teen TV personality. He's got a few credits to his name. Pretty much the big one is this movie, but an upcoming thing that he's doing, he's going to be on the 2nd season of Stranger Things.
Oh.
He has a recurring role on that. It said that he's going to be in 7 of the episodes. I wonder if that means he's going to die. Let's not postulate. Anyways, Naomi
That's another
Scott.
big word. What did I say about big words on the show?
Sorry, I'll keep it simple. We won't.
What
think
about my prostate?
Ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Naomi Scott?
Yeah.
Is it Naomi or
Naomi. Naomi Scott.
I'm sorry. When I don't know people who have that name and I read
fine.
things, sometimes it comes out phonetically. Phonetics is the way things sound, Kevin?
I was hooked on phonetics.
Okay. It didn't work for you, did it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, no. She was the Pink Ranger. She has a bunch of movie
I'll
credits.
say she was.
Well, yeah. We'll get into the color scheme of the characters in just a
Sure,
second.
that's
here,
important to me
but,
because I don't understand that
I'm going to
at
go
all.
through the
bad actors.
She's
Okay.
the Pink Ranger. She's got a bunch of movie credits. She was Maddie Shannon on a short-lived TV show called Terra Nova. Came out in 2011.
Vaguely familiar with that
produced
show.
by Steven Spielberg.
Yep, that's right.
I loved this show. It had a bunch of my favorite things to see in TV. It had time travel. It had dinosaurs, and it took place in the future.
That's all you need.
I thought it would be a home run. Apparently, not everyone thought that way because it stopped being on the air. So
Game of
bummer.
Thrones and crap like that kills a lot of other shows. I think.
Yeah, what? I don't know.
There's not enough boobs in it, therefore it doesn't do so well.
Yeah, it could be revived, maybe. I know there's a ton of fan fiction out there for that show.
Yeah, that's true.
R.C. Tyler, he was the Blue Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
He's another unknown actor. Like, he had almost no credits at all.
How
to
was
his
he?
name.
Was he decent?
As an actor, probably best actor.
In
well,
the show?
second best in the movie, I would say.
Beautiful.
I think that I think only one person outdid him in this movie.
And it was?
It was Elizabeth Banks. She played Rita Repulsa. What a name, Rita Repulsa.
Lovely Rita Repulsa.
Yeah, he was the Blue Ranger. Ludi? Oh, man, why they gotta make these names like
Lottie.
this? Luddy. Ludi. Ludi Lynn.
That sounds like some kind of actress you'd pay money for in some kind of shady place and Pee Wee Herman would get arrested.
He played the Black Ranger. On his
Naturally.
I looked around for him on the internet. Strangely enough, I couldn't find a birth date for him, so I don't know how
If
old
he exists.
he is or if he even exists. He has a few movie credits, and he also was in the show Marco Polo. That was a Netflix TV show. He was on that for a little bit. Rebecca Marie Gomez. She played the Yellow Ranger. She's actually credited with a part of the soundtrack of Hotel Transylvania. And,
I love
and
that.
the Smurfs too.
Hotel Transylvania is the animated thing, right?
Computer animated.
And there's
Adam
one and
Sandler's
two.
Dracula.
Love that. Kids love that
Oh
too.
yeah, it was
Grandkids
great.
love that.
It was great. She also has some voice acting in that. She was in the movie Neighbors 2.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she's got a few things out there. Like I said, Elizabeth Banks played Rita Repulsa. She was probably the best
Of
actor.
course, and
in
that
this-
I understand.
In the whole, she did it right. In the original series, Rita is goofy, clumsy, her hubris off the wall. Or is it hubris?
I think it's hubris, but you're using big words again.
Whatever.
Because I've had hubris on a sandwich once.
Was it
and
good?
It was so good. Elizabeth Banks, wasn't she in the movie Shallows? With
I don't know. She has quite a few credits, so
but
she's out
amazing, and I know she's not cheap. She's an expensive actress. So
there. The only little
where
trivia
you're-
tidbit I'm going to leave you with is she was the voice of Wild Style in the Lego Movie, as
Oh,
well
cool.
as pretty much any other Lego production that had Wild Style in it. So
Blake Lively was in the. Sorry about that. In Shallows, I'm sorry, but Elizabeth Banks is a great movie.
Shallows, which movie was that?
Shallows was one where she's stuck on a rock and the shark is trying to get her before she gets back to land, and it's a really good movie. I love shark movies, especially this time of year. I love sitting in the lake and watching them on the little laptop
What would you do if there was a shark in that lake?
behind me.
Yeah, the one right behind your house here.
I'd be taking as many pictures as I possibly could, and
of the shark?
Yeah, of course. Why?
What if it was like a mutated shark?
And what happens?
Well, let's just
They
say
could sing the alphabet.
government upstream of the little tributary that feeds this place.
Tributary. What the hell's that?
I don't know. It's a stream.
No, it's not a secretary.
Water.
I'm
no.
kidding. I know what a tributary is. but
Tributary.
it's a hairy
Let's say they're
tribute.
dropping some chemicals in the water, and some little kid fishes out a shark from the ocean, and then his parents are like, "You crazy kid! Here, why would you bring that home?" And they throw it in the lake, and then 10 years later, it's mutated.
very
it's
night.
huge. Bunch of swimmers from the beach down the way, they start disappearing, and then
I love this idea.
Yeah, then there's a couple. They're making out in the back of a truck, and it jumps up and bites one of their legs off, and then you're like the wacky guy that lives across the lake who's like, I know what's going on
I
here.
put my fingers down the chalkboard. You want me to catch that son of a bitch?
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time.
And then you lay out a bunch of bait on your little dock here.
Bunch of blondes.
Yep. He comes right up to your door here.
Walking on
and
his
then-
hind fins.
And then you sit him down and interview him for a podcast.
And it would go something like this.
We are here on the beach where a giant shark has just eaten a girl swimmer. Well, Mr. Jaws, how was it? Dynamite! And what did she say when you grabbed her?
Please, mister, please.
I thought that was the funniest thing
That's-
when I was your age.
That pleases me so much because that means that people were still making that kind of like ridiculous material before the internet.
It was. And you had to get records to do that.
Oh god, it probably took them like hours and hours of work to mix that together.
So-
Any kid with like a iPad can just do that with an app.
Well, so to answer your question, yeah, that's what I would do. I would interview him and make sure that Mr. Jaws was officially safe for us to hang out with.
Yeah, and then just tell them, hey, would you mind swallowing this O2 tank?
Just hold on to it in your mouth like a cigar. I'll be right back.
Anyways, what the heck were we talking about?
Well, you were going to tell me what the colors were.
Oh, God, okay,
Why
so-
are they colored?
Part of the controversy of the original show was that they had this, ragtag team of kids. They had a whole bunch of powers and a color scheme that went along with other. It was a whole thing. But
Right.
basically, they made the black kid the Black Ranger. They made the Valley Girl the Pink Ranger. They made the rednecky white kid, who later I believe they even said had a little bit of Native American heritage, the Red Ranger. They made the Asian girl the Yellow Ranger, and they made the nerdy kid the Blue Ranger. And they did
Which
this
one
on
wore-
purpose. This wasn't an accident.
Which one wore the hood?
We're the White Ranger.
Of course.
No.
But
There
so-
was eventually a White Ranger and a Green Ranger, but the originals had that color scheme. And everyone was like, oh, this is ridiculous. They didn't change it or anything, at least not for a while. But in this movie, they mixed it up. They intentionally went and changed it because, it's 2017. Everyone's offended by everything. So if they just brought them back
Amen.
in their original color schemes, people would be all up in arms. And, I mean, if less people went to go see this movie, it would have been not good for them. They needed as many as they could coming to watch this movie.
Were all cultures still covered, though, in the movie?
No, they mixed it up a little bit. So the black kid in the movie becomes the Blue Ranger.
Okay.
The white guy's still the Red Ranger, and the white girl, although she had some kind of ethnicity, or maybe she was Jewish, I don't know. She was the Pink Ranger.
Israelite?
The Asian kid became the Black Ranger, and the Yellow Ranger was some kind of Hispanic, I believe. Had something like that. But it was much less in your face, obvious, straight,
What was this movie about?
oh, jeez. All right. They did stay true to how basically every episode of the original show went.
Yeah.
Bad guy comes along, they morph, and they kick butt. That's pretty much it.
And that's
but
it.
This movie in particular dives deeper into obscurity. Let's see. It starts off 65 million years ago. Little placard comes up, says Cenozoic era, and there's this crazy battle going on. I don't know why it was happening 65 million years ago, But yeah, Rita
'Cause we can't prove
is
that.
trying to kill everyone, and the Rangers, they're all dying, and the Red Ranger, played by Bryan Cranston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
God bless you, Brian, for giving them a...
comes up to the dying Yellow Ranger, and then he does something, and crashes something into the earth. A meteor? He calls a meteor. I don't know what was happening in this first scene. To be very honest,
The three times you saw it, you couldn't figure it out.
It was chaotic. It really was. There was some kind of epic battle. The Power Rangers were losing, and in a last-ditch effort, Zordon, who was the Red Ranger at the time,
Right.
just destroys everything, pretty much.
Okay.
Like apocalyptic world ending. I think they're implying that it was 65 million years ago and he's the reason all the dinosaurs are dead. Way to go, Zordon.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the call.
And you know what? He kind of remains a little bit of a dick throughout the movie as well. He killed the dinosaurs. He's lying to the Power Rangers. We'll get to that. Anyways, cut to today, modern times. And a bunch of kids, in one way or another, find their way to this quarry or abandoned gold mine or whatever, and they find their Power Rangers superpower coins. Then they run into Zordon. They try to get their superpowers for what seemed like 6 hours of movie time. This is the dragging part of the movie. They don't actually morph into Power Rangers until like the last freaking 20 minutes of the movie.
And how long is the movie in? It's about
2 hours. 2-hour movie, and they don't become the Power Rangers until like the last 20 minutes. It's absurd. Yeah, and then they kick Rita's butt, and they go home, I guess.
Neil is probably thinking, Neil Israelite was his name, right?
Neil Patrick? Stephen Israelite? I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Daiquiri Israelite.
Daiquiri Israelite Martini.
No.
He's the one who said, you know what, we'll have them become the Rangers at 20 minutes towards the end of the movie, and that way they'll realize that there's going to be a sequel. Because I'm sure this is going to sell like gold.
I was reading somewhere online that they wanted to make 5 of these movies.
Oh, God.
I don't think it's based on the success or lack thereof of this movie. I don't think it's going to be that. But I have to imagine they were probably already in production for the second one, so there might be at least a second Power Rangers movie.
No.
So there's
can't imagine.
There's a lot of other stuff that happens in this movie. The main character, or I guess you could say main character, Red Ranger. The movie starts out.
By the way, I'm sorry.
Red Ranger
restaurants are awesome.
Excellent burgers.
Yeah.
Anyways, you get introduced to him because he's in the high school at night sometime pulling some kind of prank with his friend. They have a cow for some reason in the locker rooms. So, it's some kind of crazy prank that they're trying to pull.
Morphin powered cow.
Yeah. To give you an idea of where this movie goes wrong in the dialogue and attempted humor, they make a weird joke at the beginning of the movie. Power Rangers, the TV show, was for 6-year-olds, like I was at the time. 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, stuff like that. This is PG-13, and it's probably because of a joke like this. He goes, they're wrestling the cow. They're like, oh, man, he shouldn't be this angry or agitated or whatever. I just milked him. And he's like, this is a bull. This isn't a cow. What do you mean you milked him? And you go, oh, that's why there was only one, and it was really big. And I'm like, oh, you got to be, what? Did you just imply jerking off a bull in a Power Rangers movie? You got to be kidding me. Come on. But
go Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oh.
That's just terrible.
The police are coming. And
no pun intended.
No pun intended. And they got to get the heck out of there. Yeah. So he runs to his truck. They go in different directions. He runs to his truck. He immediately backs it into a cop car. And then they go on basically a police chase through this little small town, which is called, I think it's Hidden Valley Ranch. Is the name of the town?
Are you serious?
No, I don't remember what the name is. It has Valley in it somewhere.
Was it Catalina or something of that?
Something Valley, fancy small valley. I don't know.
Yeah. Fancy small valley.
It's actually the same name of the town in the original series as well, where Power Rangers started. This is where I found one of the redeeming features.
Okay.
They had a moment where they basically mounted the camera in the center of his truck, and it rotated around so you could see all of the action happening between him driving and narrowly missing cars and the police behind him and all this other stuff. And it was really well done. I thought that
Like
was
one continuous shot with
Yeah, pretty
everything
much, yeah.
timed out right. That's pretty
it was,
cool.
and it
I
was
appreciate
really
that.
good. And I was like, okay, yeah. So you know what? Maybe there's going to be more to this movie than just jerk off jokes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then he crashes his truck. You find out that he ended up on house arrest. He busted his knee, which ruined his football career. So now we got ourselves a broken hero.
That'll teach you.
Yep.
That'll teach you not to mess with bulls.
Yeah, don't mess with bulls.
Bulls' balls.
And don't go into schools at night.
No.
They're all haunted. You heard that from me. Every school is haunted.
Just so this is stuff you should know.
Yes, this is the podcast Stuff You Should Know.
I love that podcast.
That's a great podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways,
Back to ours.
yeah, what else happened after that? You just slowly get introduced to all the other characters. Oh yeah, they're all in detention. That's one of the other things too. They all messed up somehow. This is a departure from the original
So they're
show.
runt kids. They're not decent. They want to try to, I guess.
I've heard this a million times before, but I might as well go ahead and say it. It had a very Breakfast Club type vibe.
Really?
Where like they were all bonded by their mutual disrespect for the rules. The Blue Ranger, Billy, he
So it's an
he
unoriginal
accidentally
movie as
blew
well.
something up in his locker. The Pink Ranger, I don't know what she did wrong. They never explain it.
But
They're all there for one reason or another.
I understand.
And it's Saturday detention, and yeah. Billy's getting picked on. Red Ranger, Jason, comes to his rescue.
Right.
Slaps the bully, of all things. And after detention is over, Billy comes running up to him, and he's like, oh, hey, this is kind of weird, but you want to hang out sometime? And he's kind of
Look,
like,
I know this is weird.
yeah, well, he's geeky. The Blue Ranger
Yeah.
is the geek. He's the nerd. He's the one who has a lot of the knowledge, but maybe he's not the best at fighting. He's the brains of the operation, so
And
to
they
say.
made the black one.
And yeah, not only did they make him the black one, but get this, they also make him autistic.
Well, that's to that's to.
I felt like that was going a little too far.
That's what we do now.
Just make him geeky. You don't have to make him autistic on top of it.
That's almost an insult to the people that are autistic. God bless them.
Yeah, I mean, if
In
you're
my
talking
opinion.
about a show like Sherlock Holmes, he always exhibited some kind of autistic behavior.
Right.
But the Blue Ranger was never intended to be autistic. He's just wicked smart and kind of geeky, and the weakest of the fighters. They all have their strong suits.
That's almost selling out a sickness just so that you can make money and get approval by people with the sickness.
Very well put until that last part.
Sorry about that.
No.
You
I
understand what I'm
you're
trying to say?
Totally. Yep.
It'd
I
be
get it.
like they have one in a wheelchair and he can't really do much, but she's in a wheelchair and she can use her mind only for a little while. Then she gets tired because she has MS.
Oh,
I would be so pissed off if I saw that.
she probably have the best Megazord though. Giant wheelchair Megazord.
Oh, that would be darn cool. Easily trippable by one stick in the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So Jason tells him, I can't go. I got house arrest. He doesn't even say, no, get out of here, nerd.
Right.
Because he's kind of like, he's a nice guy, or he's supposed to be, I didn't find his character very well crafted at all, but he points to his ankle. He's got the ankle bracelet. And Billy, points to him. He's like, oh, I can take that off for you. And he's like, what, really? So he goes,
Really? What?
Yeah, this intrigues him. He also says like he's got a car he could use. He just wants his help with something real quick, and he'll let him like borrow the car. So Jason is like, you take my bracelet, my ankle bracelet off, and that sounds pretty good, yeah. So he goes home. He's thinking about it. Then he decides, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go help Billy out with whatever it is that this kid needs. And then I'm going to get my ankle bracelet off and I'll get the car. Woohoo, cheat the system.
Okay.
So he does. He goes over to Billy's. We have this tense moment where like he's got like 3 minutes to get the bracelet tricked before 7 o'clock and he's like not at home, so he'll get in big trouble. This is where they show Billy is wicked smart. His
Wicked smart.
He's freaking a little genius. Apparently, being on the spectrum gave him like savant-like tech abilities.
Okay.
I think the original Billy in the show, he was pretty smart too. He had a couple of little inventions that he made. So
Was he wicked smart?
He was nerdy, smart, but this kid is clearly like, leaps and bounds. Is that the saying? Leaps and bounds?
Leaps and bounds, yeah.
Leaps and bounds above old Billy.
Okay.
So he does. He gets the bracelet tricked or duped or whatever it is that you do to those little house arrest bracelets. Then they go to, you guessed it, the quarry.
I was going to say the quarry, but I didn't want to.
And it's clearly
spoil
a quarry, but they call it the gold mine sometimes. I don't know. It might be one of those like mines where they just basically dig out the whole damn earth for a couple nuggets.
Right.
They go there.
A spoonful.
That's when you realize the other soon-to-be Rangers are also there for whatever reason. I guess they're getting drawn in by the Mighty Morphin powers.
Mighty Morphin power time.
Yeah, so Trini, she's the now Hispanic, soon-to-be Yellow Ranger. She's like, I don't know, she's doing yoga or meditating. I don't know what she's doing. They kind of implied she's like somewhat of
Playing with a spinner.
bad girl.
Yeah.
So maybe this is her just like trying to be alone and get away from people.
Of course.
The Black Ranger, Zach, the Asian kid, I don't really know what he's doing. I can't tell if he's just hanging out there because he's a weirdo, or he had a pair of binoculars. I think he actually might have been like trying to peep on Trini or something.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. He's a little weirdo in this. And
Not living up to his expectations.
Kimberly, she's also off on her own, basically half naked, swimming in the
Who's this?
quarry. Kimberly, Pink Ranger. Yeah, I don't even remember if that's exactly what, but they're all there. And Billy, is being driven by Jason to come to this spot where he, I guess, he knows something is there.
Right.
They make an offhand comment about him and his father used to be into this kind of stuff. So I guess his father is now dead or something. I don't even. They don't explain it. No, you never see the father. They don't really explain like what they were after or what they knew or if he just liked digging holes. But he straight up has like
It's like digging.
he straight up has blasting caps. He puts a hole in the wall and puts the explosives in the wall. He's like straight up demolition.
That's what I was going to say. He's the
destroying.
demolition man.
Yeah. Which I guess he likes his explosives since he blew up his lunchbox at school, and that's why he was in detention in the first place. Jason runs
Just like
off.
the Breakfast Club.
He finds, Kimberly, like I said. They're walking around, and then all of a sudden they hear an explosion. None of them knew that Billy was going to blow something up, I'm sure, but he did. And so does Trini, so does Zach.
Bastard.
They all go over, and they're like, what the hell, Billy? Why are you blowing shit up? Mm-hmm. And so then they see, the smoke's clearing. Then they see this like glass wall, this like obsidian wall, and inside they can see their Mighty Morphin power coins. They are glowing. They're each respective color. They used to be something else. They were like badges or something in the original show, but they're coins now.
Well, these you can get at McDonald's.
Yeah. And so, of course,
Happy Meal.
yeah, their first thought, or at least Zach's, was, well, I'm just going to grab this pickaxe. I'm going to start digging those things out. Maybe they're worth something, So they each dig out their coins, and then they've got their coins. Then mine security comes.
And that's it. There's no
there's no pomp and
Backstory.
circumstance yet to this. They don't know what's going on.
Sad.
Mine security comes and they all book it. There's like a pretty weird chase scene where they're just kind of another chase scene in this movie. For a Power Rangers movie, there sure are a lot of car chases. But anyways, they're going through the mine. They're all getting into the same van. They're trying to GTFO, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll lose them behind this train." So they're racing the train, and they're getting up in front of it, and all signs point to they're gonna clear it. It's gonna be awesome, and all this other stuff. All of a sudden, bam! they get hit by the train.
It's a good thing they had their morphine kit.
Yeah, it's a good thing that happened after they got their morphine coins.
Morphine coins.
This is my I didn't really like it moment in the movie.
Did you expect
sure.
that to be like when you saw you said, well, they got their coins, they'll be fine.
I didn't expect them to get hit, and basically the very next shot is them all just waking up in their beds. No explanation whatsoever. They don't explain it. There's no offhand thing said by Zordon later like, oh yeah, good thing I saved your asses from that train. Nothing. They just wake up in their beds. No explanation. And then they've got
a dream.
Yeah, then they've got this scene where they're all realizing that now they all have 6-packs and they can smash things, and they realize something is up. And also, I have no memories of like last night after the train. So what's going on with that? So they all decide, we got to go back to the quarry after this. We got to figure out what the hell's happening with us. So they do. And then they realize they're super strong. They can jump really far. They're basically superheroes now. They even say it. Billy seems really excited at the idea of being a superhero. He's like, "Are we superheroes? Do we have superpowers?" You know, he's all super thrilled.
The writing is impeccable in this.
Oh, it's wonderful. They go down this ravine into this water. Billy kind of falls down there conveniently. I like to think that this is all being governed by like the magic of the morphing powerness, whatever it is that gives them their morphing powers. Like there's some kind of force that's leading them to the coins and leading them to the spaceship, which is buried way down there. That they run into Alpha, the robot, and Zordon, where they have a quick explanation of like, yeah, guess what? You're Power Rangers, and they're like, what? Power Rangers? What is? Be like, yeah, the coins chose you. You're now the Power Rangers, and yeah, they just
enjoy it.
That's it. At this point in the movie,
you're pink, you're yellow, you're green.
They basically have like a 40-minute montage. It might as well be of them just being impotent. Like they can't morph. They try to morph. They're trying to train. Yet they have
morph envy.
There's no pill for being not able to morph. They they're fighting these simulated putties, which are Rita's like henchmen type thing. Yeah. They're going to the morphing grid. They're trying to morph. It's
Is there a
all
morphing
very
drip that you could take?
I don't. It's a real morphing problem. They are neither mighty nor morphing, nor even really Power Rangers, in title only at this point in the movie. And this is already, we're like past the halfway point in the movie.
Oh, God.
And yeah, that's what I mean by just dragging on. It's kind of absurd. They kind of start losing confidence in themselves. A little bit of infighting happens. Rita, the whole time, I didn't even get into her. She's been dug up from the ocean by a fishing boat, and she's been going around town, like pulling out people's gold fillings and just stealing jewelry and stuff because she needs gold to summon her Goldar, which is, a monster.
Yeah.
He was in the original series. He was a little bit more of a doofus in that series, in this one.
Like a sidekick.
He's an actual, like, monster. Mm-hmm. She's killing people, too. This is where it departs from the tameness of the original show.
Yeah, no rated G.
No rated G. Not even a PG. PG-13. Oh, yes. She, like, blows up a jewelry place with people inside. She kills a couple of sheriffs and sheriff's deputies.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, kind of like just, I don't know, sucking their life force or whatever, because she's basically looking like a corpse when she gets out of the ocean. Or she might have just been in there for a really long time, so she was, like, super wrinkly.
Yeah. Like when you're in the tub too long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was also green and slightly mummified. But anyways, yeah, so she's going around town causing all these problems, killing hobos and police officers and random people, collecting bits of gold from their bodies, from their persons, from whatever, because she needs it for some reason. She and they finally meet after they're having their crisis of confidence. They finally meet, and she just like she kicks their asses.
The big COC, yeah.
Yeah, she does. She just a couple of cool moves. They like good intentions, I guess. Try to fight her. They're like, maybe we'll morph if we fight the bad guy we're supposed to fight. They don't. They just get their asses handed to them. They get pinned to a boat, and this is I totally skipped a part of the movie. There's like a life force seed somewhere on the planet. That's why they're on Earth, because Rita was trying to seal it, and thusly it would destroy the whole planet. And so the Power Rangers came along to fight her, and blah blah blah. That's kind of like the plot device. Why they're even here at all. Why Rita is trying to destroy the world. It's for this thing. And Billy found out where it is.
Dean Patrick Neal, Israelite, came up and said, I want to come up with an idea where there's a life seed, and we're going to make the Power Rangers.
An actual, some kind of mystical life seed that was planted on Earth and is the source of all life, I guess. Rita's after it because she wants power. You know, what else do bad guys want? Usually power or money.
So the fighting, was Jackie Chan involved in the teaching, or was it really bad?
It was very ninja-y. They have been training now for what? I don't know. A week? Or I think this is towards the end of their little time period. Maybe 10 days, something like that. They get pinned to a boat with her magic powers. I guess she has magic.
You ever been pinned to a boat?
I've never been pinned to a boat. I
Sucks
did,
Doc, man.
I did interview to become a masthead once, but
really,
they usually want them to have boobs, and I don't. So, but anyways,
fill some cups.
She interrogates him because she wants to know where this life seed is. Billy found out where the life seed is. Somehow she knows that Billy knows where the life seed is, and he eventually like tells her because she threatens to kill the other ones if he doesn't. And then she's like,
"Yeah, that'll do it."
This is you're gonna love this. This goes right along with the jerking off the bull and all this other bull in the movie.
What happens?
Oh, guess where the life seed is? I feel like I should make it multiple choice because you'll never guess, but it's just
make it multiple choice because I have a feeling.
Okay, multiple choice. Is it at A, the bowling alley, C, the high school? I skipped B. What should I make B?
Okay, obviously it's not B.
No, it's not B. So we're gonna do A, C, and D.
Bowling alley.
A Krispy Kreme.
D is Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kreme. You know, like the donut joint.
I bet you it was at the Krispy Kreme.
It was at the Krispy Kreme.
Just to make money.
It was under the Krispy Kreme, apparently. That's where Billy found out it was. I don't know what he did. He
how much money Krispy Kreme
He traced
paid
ley
them
lines or something.
For that?
They had to. I mean, it had to be one of those, like, you know,
25 million of that movie came from
Krispy Kreme. And they say Krispy Kreme like 30 times as well. After they reveal that.
And they think we're too stupid to realize that.
And of course, she's like, Krispy Kreme. Like all evil Rita Repulsa style. And then she's like, yeah, well, I got to kill one of you. So she kills Billy. No joke, like straight throws him in the water, all that other nonsense.
So Billy's
and then
dead.
just walks off. He's dead. This is the emotional high point of the movie for certain. And they pull him out of the water, and they're all like, "Oh no, you know what are we gonna do?"
Billy.
And so the only thing they think to do, take him to Zordon.
Take the coin.
So they take him to Zordon, who is still being played by Bryan Cranston, but he's basically a bunch of sticks in a wall. That's what his character is.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, all right. And then you're like, oh yeah, he was going to bring himself back to life. He's probably going to bring Billy back to life instead. He brings Billy back to life instead.
Aww.
Yeah. It was a very cheesy moment. They all said that they were like willing to die for one another, except some of them, it was like, me too. It's like, no, you wouldn't. You guys didn't even know each other really. Until like a week and a half ago, none of you would die for the other one unless the morphin power coins. I don't know what they're called. Transformers. Nope. Sorry. That's copyrighted. I didn't say it. Cut that out. Cut that out. Hey, is that Michael Bay at the door?
No, God, I hope not.
Anyways.
He'll redo this house much worse than it already is.
Yeah,
So
brings
that's
him
it.
back to life, which means he's not going to come back to life. And then they suddenly they have the ability to morph. I guess that's what they needed, was that bonding moment. Now they're a team and they can morph and they become Power Rangers. The suits look pretty sick. They're cool.
They are cool.
Yep. And then they're like,
They're
all right,
not the
well,
pajamas with footies. that
yeah,
we-
Rita's on her way to the Krispy Kreme. We got to go stop Rita from getting to the Krispy
And get
Kreme.
a glazed donut, which happens to be 99 cents right now when you buy a large coffee.
Right. In the meantime, Rita goes to the quarry or the gold mine and whatever. She like does some witchy magic and pulls all the gold out of the ground, and it turns into Goldar. He's like a 50-foot tall gold monster, literally made of like molten gold.
Is he shiny and clean?
Some of it, yeah. He's very gold in.
How much do you think he's worth?
Oh God, a nugget that big? Holy moly! It really was a lot of gold. Like she just straight drew that stuff from the ground. I don't know why she didn't just do that in the first place. Why she had to like eat people's gold teeth? I don't know. I guess that was the
Every
appetizer.
little bit counts.
Every little bit counts.
Don't waste not, want not is what I always say.
I know.
All right, well, this leads me to my next question.
Ooh, ask it.
Should there be a sequel?
Should there be a sequel?
There will be, I guess.
Well, I didn't get to the best part.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
They morph. They fight Rita and Goldar. It was a pretty cool fight for the most part. They pretty much destroy most of the town. She eventually does
always
get
do
to
in
the
these
Krispy
movies, don't
Kreme.
they?
Yeah. She digs, Goldar digs it up out of the ground, and they're having like their heroic last stand in their Megazords. Lots of fighting, gunfire. They somehow know karate now, or kung fu, or whatever.
and this is what you've been waiting for.
Yep.
Probably through the entire film.
Yep. Then they go all connected, transformed, megazorded. I don't know what you would call it.
And then they become
like second
huge?
transformation. Then they become as big as Goldar. Extremely lackluster battle at this point because it's like 3 moves and they kill Goldar.
And is it slow motion?
Some kind of. Actually, it was more like
When you're bigger, you're much slower.
it was
apparently.
more slow in the same vein as like the Pacific Rim fighting.
Gotcha.
Remember Pacific Rim? Like, it looks like they're moving slow, but they still have that impact because they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they stop Rita, and then they bitch slap her into outer space. I kid you
Bitch
not.
slap Rita.
She, like, gets all angry, like, you killed my Goldar, and she, like, lunges at them. She's, like, the size of a human, and they're a 60-foot tall robot. I don't know what she thought she was going to do.
Poor
So they just
Elizabeth
backhand
Banks.
her literally into space. Now, in the original series, she was Rita, the Moon Witch. Her base was on the moon. She would come down
That's
to
what's going
Earth.
to happen next.
That is where I think they are going to take it. She's going to be living on the moon in her base. Some of the other baddies from the original show will probably come about, and she'll have her second go at messing with Earth.
I hope the powers that be hire a new writer, a new director, and give it to Michael Bay. He seems to make them at least a little more exciting.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have any ghetto rangers.
They could have gone so many different places with this. The cool thing about the TV show was in 22 minutes, you got a little bit of teen drama plot. Then Rita would be, threatening something. I don't know what.
Right.
She'd have a new monster going around town. I don't know.
It was comical, too.
It was a little it was goofy. It was comical, and all that. And then they would
plenty of action.
fight them.
Right.
They get their butts kicked. Then they would turn into their droid monsters, all combine into Super Droid Monster or Megazord, if you will. And then they would kill the bad guy.
And then they became huge and they kicked butt and
Yeah.
bitch slapped them.
Every episode, formulaic to the T. But in this one, they of course had to throw in so much more before they ever got to that point.
So obviously they were trying to do a precursor for the rest of the stories, and it was
So to answer your
terribly
question,
done.
should there be a sequel?
Should there be a sequel?
Yes, there should.
There better be.
Despite the fact that this was not a great movie,
Right.
there needs to be a sequel.
To save it.
Because the cool thing about, being a teenager in high school with superpowers is you need to actually be a teenager in school with superpowers. They don't have any of that. They have trying to be teenagers in high school with superpowers, but the whole time they're just failing at having their superpowers. They don't have really secret identities. They just have an after-school activity where they go talk to a 65 million-year-old alien and try to learn a little kung fu.
Do they
Sounds a lot cooler when I say that.
Are they truly teenagers, or do you think that they're in their 20-somethings?
I looked this up. I looked this up. Where'd my notebook go? I don't know, but none of them are under the age of 20. Everyone always complains that, people playing high schoolers in movies, they're actually like 20-something-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or like maybe even as old as 30. So I looked up their ages. A lot of these kids haven't been in a lot of stuff. So they are actually young, but not teenager young. Not a single one of them is actually a teenager. Dacre Montgomery, 20 years old.
Okay.
Naomi Scott, 25. R.C. Tyler, the Blue Ranger, 22. Ludi Lin is the only one I couldn't find a birth date for. So he might be a teenager.
Might not even exist.
He could also be a robot. He could have been all CGI.
CGI is what I was thinking.
Yeah. And Rebecca Marie Gomez, also 20. So they are close to being teenagers, most of them, but they aren't actually teenagers. They would not be in high school.
5 films would make them around 26, 27 when they finish.
Some of them even in their 30s, yeah.
These guys are being held back.
So they better have already filmed all the other movies.
I hope so.
Really. What else to say about this?
I
watched it 3 times because I wanted to get more out of it. And really the only thing that I could get more out of it was an appreciation for what the Power Rangers is.
I can imagine, yes. You
the
respected
whole
there.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's based... It was the brainchild of these guys who got the idea that they could make a show using footage from another show. And that's what Power Rangers is. They took footage from this Japanese show called Super Sentai Warriors, I think, or something along the lines of that. They took just the fight sequences from that show, and then they filmed a bunch of American actors in high school doing all their stuff. So all of that, all of that awesome. Beginning part of most of the Power Rangers episodes is all of them, having their teen dramas, don't do drugs, there's bullies, blah, blah, blah. And then they would just cut to the footage with American voice actors dubbing over all the Japanese stuff. And it's amazing. Like, what came out of that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
This obviously doesn't have that. It's all CGI, but I still love the idea of Power Rangers, especially since they are a team. This isn't a Spider-Man.
Right, exactly.
One guy who gets superpowers, discovers there's an evil scientist with 8 arms and has to, punch that guy to death.
Bitch slap him into space.
No, they start as a team. They get their powers as a team, and they continue to fight as a team. And it's cool. And Power Rangers will still stay near and dear to my heart, even if the sequel sucks.
Well, that leads us to the last question. What would you have done different? And obviously,
I would have given them their powers way earlier. And we didn't need half of that backstory.
Right.
There were things that they threw in there, and I feel like you can cut this movie down easily to an hour, 40 minutes, maybe even an hour and a half by just losing some of this nonsense, by cutting their whole training sequence down. The Zach, the Black Ranger's mother, is like bedridden, and they show a couple of scenes where he comes home and is like helping his mother like take her pills and stuff like that. Why? What is the point of that? If you're going to like make that an integral part of a future movie, show it in the future movie. It had no part in this movie. It was just a waste of film time. It really was.
Yeah.
So shorten it. What I would have done differently, shorten it. Give them their powers at least at the halfway part of the movie, and let them have more than just one big battle.
I'm with you. If I had seen the movie, first of all, then I would have a better answer than this. But I would have thought, since this is a Power Rangers movie and the target that you're trying to hit is the 30-something years old to maybe early 40-somethings, they're going to know the story already. So yeah, leave that out. They're coming to see this because of that. They're not looking for origin. They didn't come to get Power Rangers origin yet. We could do that later. But here we are.
Yeah, they want a nostalgia high.
And they want a nostalgia high. So,
while still having something that the kids could enjoy because
right.
giant fighting robots and ninjas and all this other stuff.
Slapping.
Yeah, bitch slapping in a space.
I think we should start a band called that.
Maybe they could all giggle like, Daddy, what's he mean that bull only has one?
So yeah, and I would leave out the bull. Obviously.
I would definitely leave out that joke and some of the other nonsense. The whole Breakfast Club thing didn't need to happen. They could have just been people who otherwise never would have hung out in school, but are all drawn together because maybe, I don't know, they could have done it with like a school field trip. Maybe they all wander off on a school field trip, fall in a pit, and there's a bunch of stones down there, and they're like, what are these? I feel strong. I got powers now. And then they meet Zordon, and that could have all happened in the first 15 minutes of the movie, but instead it just dragged on.
Now I'll tell you what, I did not see this movie, but I uberly enjoyed talking to you about it. That was fun, and I feel like I was there.
Yeah, and I'll probably only watch the movie 4 or 5 more times.
Oh God! Will you ever purchase it?
Yeah, well, actually, I did.
Okay.
After I went to the Redbox and I got it the first time, I purchased a digital copy from Amazon.
Okay, beautiful.
Yep. So I do technically own it. I can watch it whenever I want, I guess, on Amazon.
Please know, folks, if you want to check out anything Power Rangers, including this movie, go to the powerrangers.movie. www.powerrangers.movie. And you can pick up a Blu-ray there, a 4K Ultra Blu-ray there. You can Command a Center app. You could download that sucker. There's a whole bunch of good stuff there for you. June 27th is when it is officially coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. You can download the digital like Lewis did right away from Amazon, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they got games here, and they got all kinds of crap and scenes and photos and posters and, even something for Snapchats.
Yes. Who knows?
Yeah. So you could check that out there. Now I ask you one last question. Any movie recommendations?
Yeah, I got a movie I want to recommend. Go see a movie called Ex Machina. It's a movie about a kid getting drawn in by this crazy billionaire who's built a lifelike girl robot, and he wants him to interact with her so he could see if she is sentient. And things get a little weird. It's a very slow-paced... what's the word I'm looking for here?
An intelligent movie?
It is definitely a very intelligent movie. It's very dialogue-based. There's only basically 3 characters in the whole thing.
Oh, good. Okay.
The robot girl, the rich dude, and the young kid. And it gets very interesting. It's very thought-provoking.
When did this come out? Recently, or?
When did it come out? 2015, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. You can look it up. I believe it's around then. It's definitely out. You can go and you could get all of that.
Get it at the library.
Yeah, get it wherever. If they have it at the library, or you can just rent a copy or get it online, that kind of thing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's rated R. There's a bunch of nudity. So
I thoroughly enjoy that.
If you don't like that, or you plan on watching it with any kids around, don't.
Yeah.
There's more than just a couple of quick flashes because she's a robot. She has no shame. Sometimes she's just kind of standing there being a robot with no clothes.
Like they do.
Yep. So check it out, definitely.
And once you see it, for me and Lewis, if you could, purchase us one of those.
Yeah, purchase it for us.
Not one, two. I don't want it.
Actually, get 3 copies because I'm going to watch it twice.
Oh, I was talking about the robots, not the movies.
Oh, robots? They got those.
All right, and so...
We were just talking about all that Japanese stuff. Guess who made them? The Japanese. Oh, man, them and their robots.
I'm going to go... I told you something different during dinner, while we had dinner, but I'm going to go with The Electric Grandmother.
The Electric Grandmother? What's that about?
It's about getting a grandmother and finding out she's an electric. It's a good movie. It's something I saw probably when I was probably 11 or 12 for the first time I saw it. So this is a 1980s film, maybe even late 70s. And what it is, it's a family that get a grandmother, and the kid doesn't realize that the grandmother is robotic, and she has to plug herself in at night. She has her own rocking chair, which is a rechargeable chair.
She's got a charging dock.
Yeah, charging dock. She goes downstairs, she charges herself up, and it's about the love between a grandchild and a grandmother, and how important it is that, it doesn't matter that she's electric. She loves them all the same. It's pretty cool. And I'm not spoiling the movie by saying, he grows older and he can still go back and visit grandma because she never changes.
Weird.
It's a great story. It really is. And that's one that smoothed your heart over.
So we both suggested movies
about electric dolls.
Robots. Yeah.
We need to see doctors.
Maybe.
So, next movie choice.
Oh.
My turn? I'm ready. I got tons.
Do it. What do you want to do? What do you want to watch?
I would like to see. I'm picking Nutty Professor, the original with Jerry Lewis and Stella Stevens.
I have not seen that. I saw the Eddie Murphy ones, but I haven't seen the Jerry Lewis one.
Jerry Lewis helped produce Eddie Murphy's and gave him his blessings because he loves Eddie Murphy. Thought he was a brilliant comic. Said nobody could do it better. He also loves Jim Carrey too. I'm so glad he didn't give it to Jim Carrey. But there we go. So, yep, the original Nutty Professor, Jerry Lewis. And we'll see you at the movies. We can't say it. That's not legal.
What? Really?
Yeah, somebody had that.
That's a trademark thing?
That's trademarked by one of the TV ones, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's baloney.
Arch Campbell, I think.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you some other time. No, I don't know.
I like that one. We'll see you some other time. And do it sort of like a Saturday Night Live Pardo voice. We'll see you some other time.
You go ahead and have fun with that one.
Okay, I will.
It's morphin' time.